Hello everyone, and welcome to the joinDOTA League Season 2. This is Europe Region Division 1, and this is a two-game series between Relax, You Are Doing Fine, and Hehe United. I am Roxas, and with me this evening is Coucher. How you doing, friend?
Yeah, quite fine. Kind of looking forward to this game, to be honest, and it's a nice way to actually warm us up for just watching the TI4 qualifiers, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hehe and Relax, I mean, a lot of recognizable names, Dread, Nihis, and a lot of people that are seen in a lot of other European tournaments as well. And this is Division 1, so not obviously up there with the staples like Na'Vi and Alliance, of course, but they do always put on a show, at the very least.
Yeah, they most certainly do, and like skill level wise, it should be quite even as well. Last time those two teams met actually was for the ESL1 qualifiers. Relax managed to win it 2-1, and well, overall, just performance wise, I would also have to give Relax a small advantage. But this game just very well might end up as a tie 1-1.
Yeah, absolutely, and that also comes with a best of two series, like a two-game series, best of two, whatever you want to call it. Most of them will end up 1-1 just because of just the way the drafts kind of evolve and adjustments happen. Usually there's a couple of plans, like maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, and some, like the other team will adjust and then they'll come back and it's like, well, we've already played two games. And usually if it's a 2-0, it's not really, I've hardly ever seen a close 2-0. Like if it's a 2-0, like it was a stomp both games most of the time. But so first pick Wisp coming out from Hehe, and I actually really like seeing this hero. Back in the days of 6.78 when it was just like super broken, maybe it got a little bit annoying, but I do like this hero just because it encourages a lot of aggressive play. You're going to see action in a lot of places. The late game gets very entertaining, and just it kind of creates for a fast-paced game to watch.
Yeah, that is way more fun to watch than just 60 minutes farm, 4 protect 1 and so on. It is really nice, like you said, that actually more teams have been going for that kind of playstyle now as well. But do you think he is actually going to go straight up for the IO partner now as the second pick, maybe just a tiny outright?
Yeah, picking the tiny outright is a little bit risky, just because I think that you would want to make Relax waste their next two bans on it. Because if you're Fnatic, I mean, obviously I think that Tiny is the best Wisp partner, but Sven, CK, they work quite well. You can get by without a Tiny, and if you make Relax waste two bans, then, I mean, there are three other heroes that you get besides the Wisp partner that maybe are going to be worth it for you. So I think that's what they're trying to debate right now.
It would be a smart choice. It's kind of like a Mirana pick, just baiting out the Shadow Demon and maybe the Bane band. But it's an Ember Spirit, and well, I'm guessing mid lane.
Yeah, Ember Spirit traditionally does have a pretty tough time against Invoker, especially if Invoker does go Exort, which is the popular way to play it these days. Most of the time we only see Wex against heroes that are quite elusive, that farm with illusion, like particularly Nagasiren. Going the Quas Wex Orchid build is pretty popular because you want to try to gank and kill them before they can use Nagasiren to escape and things like that. But if it's an Exort Invoker, which it could be, then Ember Spirit will have a tough time just because he's not going to have the damage to outlast hit him. The Forward Spirits are going to be able to eat through Flame Guard as well, and the region from Quas makes it so that the Invoker can just trade hits with you pretty easily, and you're going to be forced to Bottle Crow to keep up.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Ember Spirit's really biggest weakness is just physical damage with the low base armor and him of course being a melee hero. But now, Relax actually taking out a jungler, the Chen, so they don't want at least to face some form of early pushing, as well as of course the Hand of God just gets double as strong if the IO is tethered up to some target as well.
Yeah, also Chen, I mean this isn't obviously a reason you pick Chen with Ember Spirit, but it's pretty nice to have a free trip back to the fountain to refill everything with just Test of Faith and then going back to a Remnant. Not to mention that will kind of help the global presence with the Wisp. And plus if the Hehe was able to get a jungler, such as Chen or Enchantress, the Wisp gets a lot of levels, and Relax doesn't want to go aggressive tri-lane because they picked up a Sand King, and they want their Sand King to jungle. You obviously can go aggressive tri-lane, but that's not really the reason Sand King's being picked up. And if you were going to do that, you would pick up someone with a longer range initiation, such as a Rubik, a Bane, Shadow Demon, someone else to help you set up other than the Sand King, who has a very short range on Burrow Strike on level 1. So they do leave Enchantress in the pool, if he decide to go for that, but I personally don't think that they will.
Yeah, don't really see it happening either, at least not with the current lineup or current heroes that they have already picked up.
Yeah.
And we see a Doom ban as well, and actually the Doom is something that Relax could have easily gone for themselves, just to lock down the Ember Spirit completely.
5 seconds remaining.
Well, yeah, Doom's also, I think it would have been a good pick for Hehe. Also very, very good against Invoker, who most of his strength in team fights is just the fact that he has so many spells. So they're going to go ahead and secure a Rubik pickup, and picking it up at this stage kind of leads me to think that they're going to be looking for a carry that has potential for, or that's kind of susceptible to having maybe their ultimate stolen, maybe Spectre, maybe Naga Siren, but I'm not sure exactly why they would pick it up super early like this. Maybe they're going to go for Offlane Tide. It is dire.
It might very well be possible. The Tide Hunter actually
10 seconds
has just become popular once again all of a sudden. It is a
5
really strong
seconds
hero,
remaining.
and in the offlane, even if he doesn't get like too many levels, he can slowly just go for the Ancients with the new Anchor Smash as well.
Dire team
So it's definitely possible to pick up, but a Witch Doctor for Hehe. And that hero, like the Tide actually, although the Tide Hunter used to be popular, which the Witch Doctor almost never was, but lately he's been getting picked up a lot, and actually no heroes or no players almost even go for the Maledict at all. Just straight up Paralyzing Cask and the Voodoo Restoration.
It's been pretty nice. I think Witch Doctor has been underrated for a while, not to mention, similar to Bane, he has really good attack range and right-clicks quite difficult, or quite, Jesus Christ, he right-clicks really hard, so it becomes quite difficult for anyone who's on the opposite lane of him to actually get up and hit creeps, especially if they're melee. So they could, I highly doubt you're going to go aggressive tri-lane with the Wisp, but it gives them a good disable. It's a very powerful teamfight ultimate, especially in conjunction with Ember Spirit, because you can hit multiple people with Searing Chains, and then the Death Ward does a lot of damage. I believe I saw this yesterday. So Relax does go ahead and pick up their offlane Tide Hunter as well.
Yeah, you were spot on with that prediction there. Getting the Tide, and well,
Called it! No,
yep, yes you did. And actually, Relax's lineup is pretty decent to actually take care of the Witch Doctor as far as his channeling the ultimate goes, because every single hero from Relax has a way to actually stop it. I mean, sure, the Tide Hunter's Ravage is really long with the cooldown and all, but still, that's 4 heroes who can all stop it.
Isn't Gush a mini-stun? No, it's not. Oh my god! We have not seen this hero in a long time. Well, a pretty... Actually, you know what I think this is? I think this is going to be a Wisp Ember Spirit, and they're going to be tri-laning safe, and I think this is going to be a mid-Medusa.
10 seconds
similar to the way Fnatic and Na'Vi have actually been running it.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I've casted one game actually with Medusa only. It was EG running it. They also had an IO in the game, so IO Medusa, it's actually pretty damn hard to bring down, especially now that the Medusa's mana shield got buffed even.
Radiant team.
And of course, having the Ember Spirit as well, if they get this to the late game, it's going to be so hard for Relax at the moment. But then again, Relax, I mean, even with the IO being on Hehe, I still think Relax has just such a dominant mid game with the Invoker as well as the Sand King.
So, if you're Relax
5
here, do
seconds
you
remaining.
try to go for an anti-mage, which, I mean, probably it's going to be banned out, but do you try to compete in the late game?
Reserve time.
Faceless Void, anti-mage, they both do quite well against Medusa as long as they get the space in the farm. Or do you just pick a really aggressive carry that comes online early, maybe something like a Life Stealer, and just try to dominate the mid-game to victory?
Well, I myself would like to go for the more aggressive route, just picking some aggressive carry that has some late game potential, but can actually fight earlier on as well. Maybe even something like a Gyrocopter could do, with the cooldown and all, just try to out magic damage them and burst them down early. I mean, the anti-mage would be really good just to mana drain the Medusa as well, make hers mana shield quite inefficient. But yeah, I would go for something more aggressive than like an anti-mage or Faceless Void.
Well, they do have a minute to decide here. And though they want the Sand King jungling and they want Rubik getting the pulls, they need both those supports to really get their levels up. They could still run an aggressive tri-lane, or they could even do something off the wall like a dual lane mid. I know that we've seen that sometimes when you try to shut down the Medusa. But the thing is also on Radiant, Medusa can always just go farm Ancients. And it seems kind of... what's the right word? It seems kind of niche and kind of bad as well, but it's still an option. And the thing is, Medusa's going to get her levels even if she just survives in the mid lane. So, not to mention, the counter initiation from Hehe is really good. So if there's any sort of aggression near a tower, Witch Doctor comes in. If there are two heroes near a tower and no creeps are there, Paralyzing Cask is really good. So they're going to go ahead and pick up a really aggressive carry. They're going to go with the Shadow Fiend, and they're going to be probably trying to end the game around the 25 or 30 minute mark.
Yeah, the Shadow Fiend, I really like that pickup because it can carry late game as well, get the Daedalus and just start right-clicking away, especially with the built-in minus armor that he already has. And like you said, it's really aggressive because even early on, the right clicks hurt quite a lot if he gets the Necromastery going. And of course the Shadow Races as well. And God knows that they have so much stun set up for him to actually be able to correctly hit those Shadow Races as well.
Yeah, not to mention just Requiem of Souls as well as Ravage. Before anyone gets a BKB, I mean, Ember Spirit and Medusa both don't want to build BKBs. Well, are they going to random? Okay, they don't random. What? What? I don't even know. All right, there's no analysis. They have 3 carries.
Well, they're just banking it all in on the late game, which I think is not the best strategy to go for. Like early on in the fights, they actually don't have that much going for them. They do need the levels, especially on the supports, and they need them badly.
Yeah,
how are they actually going to lane this? Are they going to do like 2-1-2 or?
They can do like a dual off lane, and I mean, I guess they just do dual lanes because Wisps does work pretty well. I think Cloud9 are known for running Wisp Gyro off lane, so they're probably going to go ahead and do that and then put Medusa mid. So I don't know. This is going to be a crazy game nonetheless. Let's start off introducing the players. On the side of Relax, we have Windex playing on the support Rubik. On the other support in the Sand King, we're going to have Dread. And on the carry in the Shadow Fiend, we have Yoki. And we also have, on the Tide Hunter, we're going to have Shoklo. And this is not his real name. Hold on. I know it. Aha, yes, it's Crazy on the Invoker.
Oh god, those name changes. But for Hehe, up on the Radiant side, Hava, HWA, playing on the Ember Spirit, leaving Nihis to support him on Yayo, with Chips Hyan on the Witch Doctor, and Relo, at the moment running towards the offlane on the Gyrocopter, with Kaibutsu, gonna farm it up on the Medusa on the safe lane. Really, like Hehe, I have no idea where their lane situation is gonna end up with. Like at the moment, since the Gyrocopter is running towards the top, I would guess it's gonna be dual top, probably dual mid as well, and leaving Medusa solo bottom.
I guess so. Medusa can do quite well against Tide Hunter. She can't really harass him out of lane because of her low base damage as well as Crack and Shell early on. But I mean, Tide Hunter's not going to contest her either. Both of them are just going to get their farm. But I mean, he has 3 late game agility carries. Like, I think that they just need to survive. At the very least, it is hard to push uphill against Call Down and Sleight of Fist and Stone Gaze. But, I mean, when there's a Blink Ravage and none of your heroes want to build BKBs except for a Gyrocopter, I think that Relax is going to be so scary in the mid game that I don't really see Hehe being able to weather the storm
30 seconds
just by nature of their lineup.
Yeah, Relax. If they get the ball rolling even a little, it's gonna be so damn hard for Hehe. But one thing is that, like you said about as well, usually Medusa doesn't really want to build a BKB if he can help it. The same goes for the Ember Spirit as well. But in this game, all of their free carries do need it really badly. I mean, Gyrocopter's go for BKBs anyway on a regular basis. But Ember and
The
Medusa, I mean,
battle
it's like
begins.
100% they can't avoid the BKB. There's just way too much magic and lockdown coming out from Relax.
Well, speaking of the warding situation, there was a ward drop down here in the Radiant offlane by Relax. Two wards hugging each other here by the top rune spot. And I think there's still an observer ward over on Witch Doctor. Yeah, he's still holding on to one. And we'll be a defensive tri-lane around Yoki, who will be on the Shadow Fiend, and then Crazy, going to be the solo mid, and then just the offlane Tidehunter. So looking pretty normal here. And looks like Wisp is kind of just hanging around. Start off with a bottle, not sure exactly where he's going. I guess they're going to go aggressive tri-lane with the Wisp and Witch Doctor and the Gyrocopter, which makes a lot of sense now that I think about it.
Yeah, if they had sent him mid, then the Ember Spirit would have had a little bit worse time as far as getting the XP goes, and the Ember Spirit definitely needs to get the levels. And with the early bottle on Yayo as well, can maybe sustain a little bit more harass, throw out a few more spells on the Witch Doctor maybe. Just they have so much more regen with the Tether bottle that it can help them out, and with a tri-lane versus tri-lane, they can actually pressure the Shadow Fiend. But Shadow Fiend already actually has 4 stacks in Necromaster, so somehow he's been getting the farm, and once he gets that up, the right clicks will start to hurt. But he even having Yayo on the tri-lane, I think they actually have maybe a little bit better or more aggressive tri-lane than Relax does.
I mean, this aggressive tri-lane makes a lot of sense. I think we would have seen this coming out, seeing a stun plus Gyrocopter plus 1, if the Medusa was replaced with something like a Clockwork. It just would have been obvious that it's an Ember mid and an aggro tri-lane, because you don't really pick Gyrocopter to go defensive. He is good late game, but he's not the king of all late game carries that he used to be, just because he's a great rapier carrier, and also he has a lot of damage, both physical and magical, with just a few items. So mostly he's picked up to go aggressive tri-lane, and especially on Radiant, because of what we see now, the pool camp, it's going to be a little bit easier to make sure the Wisp gets the levels, and the main thing I think they're trying to do is make sure that Windex and Dread are forced to stay in the lane and support.
Yeah, that's really smart by them as well, because the Sand King can get so much farm from just stacking up the jungle and farming it later on. But with them denying Relax the possibility to actually do so, and of course just the rotations as well, makes it sure that the Ember Spirit can hit at level 6 before the
Getting
ganks
away
down.
from Paralyzing Task onto Dread. He's going to Burrow Strike as well, but there's a Sun Strike, and it doesn't secure First Blood, but Yoki's able to get it with the right clicks. There's going to be a raise, but Hicks is going to be buffing up Relo, and it looks like they're just going to retreat.
That just didn't go the way he I think actually pictured it in their mind, because Tread, he was pretty damn low to begin with, but of course Io, he didn't have the spirits for the extra damage. Relo had to come in from afar on the Gyrocopter to get some damage done with the Rocket Barrage, and they definitely did not expect the Sunstrike coming out like that.
Yeah. It's always one of those times like when you're playing against an A or an Invoker in a pub, and then you get Sunstruck or hit by a Global Beam, and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot they had that. So, but like we did mention in the draft, it is going to be an Exort Invoker, so Crazy going to have a much easier time in this lane though expected. But actually, it turns out that he's losing a bit at 17 for 2 of 14 for 1, which I'm quite impressed to see without Ember Spirit picking up a Quelling Blade.
Yeah, somehow he's been managing to do it. I mean, maybe Game Ruiner. Actually, he might not be crazy after all. At least somebody in the chat said that it's a stand-in. But nevertheless, the Invoker maybe was a little bit just focusing on trying to have his map awareness maxed out to make sure he actually lands a Sunstrike when necessary. Although usually your team should call it out anyway, but that may be like half of the reasoning behind it.
Maybe so. I think at the very least, Ember is going for skipping the Flame Guard build, so Searing Chains and Slate of Fists. So he's been using that to secure the last hits from afar, Bottle Current to keep his to keep his mana up. So he's been pretty safe, and Searing Chains, I saw him latch it on Invoker a couple of times, so it's just some good harassment, I guess, to zone him out. But still, I mean, 90 damage against 60, when you have 50% more damage and your range, I just feel like it should be going a lot worse for Ember, so props to him.
Yeah, definitely doing nice. And actually, what is your take on the Embers actually not going for Flame Guard, or what skill build do you prefer to see on Embers?
I personally actually like going for the Searing Chains, just because some people think, oh, it's a nerf that it scales pretty poorly, but it's still Layer doesn't scale as well as it used to, like you can't get one value point, but it's still a very good ability. And I think the lockdown, especially if you can get it on multiple heroes.
Top lane, there's some action going on.
Yep, Dread, he has the Burrow Strike. There was a homing missile as well, but Ray's going to be hitting on 2. There's the Voodoo Restoration and the Wisp following up, though. Relo, he's going in. Yoki, he's getting hit by a few of the spirits. He's taking a full Rocket Barrage, but fortunately it's only level 2. They're going behind the tower right now. Windex, he just threw out a right click for Spite. Homing missile going to be coming as well. Dread, he's cast under the shadow of his own tier 1, and Windex throws the Telekinesis, throws Reload back. But the Rocket is following Yoki. He goes to the side shop. Is he buying a TP? No. Windex, he's super low. There's one right click there from the Wisp, and he's going to be able to take him down. Yoki's in the corner. Thought of his spirits as well, and the right clicks. He throws out a Spite Shadow Rays, and that is a 2-0. We're currently seeing the potential of this aggressive trial. There's so much regen here.
Yeah, they just completely outlasted Relax, and actually Relax, they threw out all of their spells once, and after that they just started backing off, and they didn't, or weren't able to actually do anything after that. I mean, Sand King, his mana pool is so low early on, so all he had mana for is one Burrow Strike, and well, are they really gonna go again?
I think they can. At the very least, they would need to cut the creep wave, and also Rubik is not returned. Windex is a little. He's going to go on a warding mission. But one thing we didn't mention all is the solo Medusa against the Tidehunter going decently. Actually, no, Shocklow. He's going to be stone gazed up, and the Mystic Snake going to be getting him down very low, but he doesn't freeze just because he turned away in time, and he'll be able to get away, and he's just going to go back to base. But Medusa getting lots of farm here, and a farm Medusa is pretty scary.
Yeah, it's kind of to be expected as well, Medusa. I mean, Tidehunter doesn't really have any forms of actually killing off the Medusa. Sure, the Anchor Smash can do some harass, but Medusa has the range advantage there, so shouldn't even get close to the creeps for that. I mean, Tidehunter, he's been getting the last hits as well, but it's actually funny to see that he has 0 points in Gush and 2 in Kraken Shell.
Yeah, pretty interesting. Normally you just see like one of the value points in Kraken Shell, and then you go ahead and max the Anchor Smash.
They're going on Medusa, I think.
Yeah, it has an Invis Rune. They know that Stone Gaze is down. There's a Sunstrike to follow as well, but it's off the mark as it was a little bit late, but there are 2 TPs coming in. Looks like they're going to try to turn this around. The Spirits are going to be there, bottling up. Windex, he's taking a lot of damage. He's taking damage from creeps as well. He ends up going down, but the Ravage is spent in the backside. And Yoki, he's come in. He finishes off the Wisp with the Shadow Rays, and he's going to be chasing up after the Witch Doctor, but no, Shosko comes in, he throws out the Anchor Smash, but there's a Mystic Snake, and he just gets him with the split shot. Oh my gosh, is that a Medusa on a killing spree at 8 minutes? This is not the start you want to give this hero.
Oh man, that rotation by Relax, it just completely and utterly failed for them. And they were like, oh yeah, we're just going to kill off the Medusa.
Oh, they've already Stone Gaze again? Windex just gets to turn around, but are they going to go after this? Medusa doesn't have a whole lot of mana. She does have her Mana Shield activated, but the Witch Doctor's there with the Voodoo Restoration. Telekinesis is there. They're still taking a lot of damage from the tier 1, but God, Mana Shield does work. She does have some stick charges as well, and the Mystic Stake throws off one more right click. She's dominating. Jocko going to be going there, and the Sunstrike is off the mark barely. Gush is going to be slowing down, and Anchor Smash is going to finish her off, giving a lot of gold to that Tidehunter, 531.
Yeah, and now Nihis might be in trouble as well because Invoker's just chasing him down. Oh god.
Well, there's going to be a Chain Remnant as well. And he's going to be trying to body block some right clicks as well, but Invoker is not switched to Quas. Yeah, he's going to go down.
Just so much action going on all of a sudden.
I love this.
And Relax, I mean, they've been trying to rotate around, trying to make things happen, but every time they rotate, it actually backfires. I mean, this time around, the Invoker wanted to go in and help, just to kill off, of course, the Medusa maybe. But he was a little bit too late anyway, and when he was running back, just got caught.
Medusa really hard to gank whenever she just has her ultimate up. Kind of like a Naga Siren in that instance. And it's only 1 point for Mana Shield right now. Like, just imagine whenever she starts leveling that up. She's leveling Split Shot, but normally a weakness of a Medusa is her laning presence is quite weak, and she's quite easy to get roamed on, but this is just being played very, very well from Hehe.
Yeah, they've really outdone my expectations for them, at least in this game, to be honest, but oh, Dread? No, never mind, the homing missile will get destroyed before it reaches him, but they're going on Yoki!
Oh, he avoids the call down, but he's still caught in the Death Ward. and he gets stunned up in the middle of that. Dread, he's coming in with the Burrow Strike under the Sandstorm, but oh my gosh, he goes down.
Yeah, relax. They're just unable to even predict the movements from Hehe a little bit, and of course the Sunstrike, it did a lot of damage in return onto Chips, but they just don't have any follow-ups at the moment. The Shadow Fiend, sure, he's level 6, but he needs way more. He needs the Requiem of Souls at least. I mean, even if he wouldn't have been able to channel his ultimate, just from his own death, I think it would have been enough to maybe kill off the Witch Doctor. But now Hehe, they get the tier 1 tower on top of it. They're getting so much gold, even though they had the better late game like heroes anyway. So if they get the early start and get the advantage, relaxed, they're gonna have such an uphill battle to actually get themselves back in the game.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really difficult. When a late game oriented lineup wins the early game, you kind of just want to quit right there sometimes. But still, relax. They haven't really gotten to take a team fight on their own terms just yet. They haven't gotten to use a Blink Ravage, any Requiem of Souls, Epicenter. They do have the Wombo combo, and as we've seen in a lot of games, sometimes it just takes one fight, and that's all you need to catch them without BKBs, without buybacks, and there you go. So lots and lots of game to be played, even though he's off to not the start that any of us really expected.
Yeah, it's definitely relaxed. They still have yet to hit their chest timing window, and well, the blink won't be there for a while on Chaslo because he's going for a mech, which I like, to be honest. I mean, sure, it's nice to have the blink initiation, but the early mech for your team definitely helps. Oh, they're going on Yoki.
Yep, Yoki, triple Remnant as well. One right click going to be able to scare him off. Shockflow is there. He throws a gush out on the Witch Doctor, and Slate of Fist is going to do barely no damage, just going to kind of annoy them. And they're moving up. They're completely taking control of Relax's jungle. There's the Slate of Fist and Chains onto one, and the Spirit's doing a lot of damage. But Dread, he's channeling the Epicenter. There's a call down. It's going to miss, though. He Burrow Strikes. He actually hits almost no one with the Epicenter. Everyone from Relax is still alive. There's a Telekinesis on the Ember Spirit, but he's going to be buffed up by the Wisp. There goes the Paralyzing Class again. Reelo going to be able to finish it off with a right click. And the Rocket Barrage is going to be doing a lot of damage as well. They're pinging out Dread. Dread, does not have the mana for a Burrow Strike. He's only relying on just trying to move quickly. But Medusa's coming. She's got drums. There's an Illusion Rune there. Maybe going to try to body block with it. No, maybe he can't. But Dread, he should be able to make it away here.
Once again, just horrible for Relax. I mean, they didn't take almost a single point of damage in there. I mean, Dread, his idea was really nice to actually fog himself out, go for the Epicenter channel. But they all just backed off. They were like, we won't have any part of it. And once again, not only do they win the fight, they get the tier 1 on top of it. They got the tier 1 bottom a little bit before already. And well, it's spiraling out of control for Relax. I'm not saying they don't have any way back into this game, but they're gonna have to just work so hard. At least Dread is actually only 400 gold away from his Blink Dagger, surprisingly.
Well, he's only died once, which was the first blood, so by virtue of passive gold and buffs to passive gold, Dread is getting close to the Blink Dagger, and because they do have the Blink initiation on the Sand King, that does free the Tidehunter to go up for the mechanism, so they still have this mid-game stride, but you expect to be ahead when you hit that stride as well, which is why you pick a Shadow Fiend, which is why you pick a Tidehunter, that aren't really your traditional super late game carries. Yes, Shadow Fiend is a carry in his own right and does a lot of physical damage, but he's nothing like an anti-mage. He has no escape, he has almost no maneuverability, and really all he has is like the Shadow Razes and his minus armor, and if his ultimate's not good, well, that's a big part of you gone, so, which is I don't know, man. It's hard. TLDR hard. Relax.
Yeah, they're just so far behind, because looking at the graphs, they're around 7.5k XP behind already, almost 40 minutes in, as well as nearing 10k on the gold department. I mean, he just looking at the supports, or not supports, the carries, being that farmed, and oh god, are they going on Tidehunter?
Looks like the Wolves of Relocate coming in, and the Ravage is going to spend Sunstrike, going to be coming in, going to be able to clean up the Wisp, but in the backside of the fight, that's still just a 2-for-1 at the cost of a Relocate. So, also, I wanted to point this out. Medusa has picked up a Mask of Madness. I don't think I've ever seen this before, but it's awesome. Speaking of which, she's going to be spinning the Stone Gaze to try to chase Yoki. He's trying to make sure he doesn't look at her.
Dyer's top tower
And
is under
yeah, he
attack.
doesn't get turned to stone. Dread,
Radiant's
he
middle
doesn't have a
tower is
blink there.
under
He's not going to be able to catch. He just now gets the gold for it. So, drum charge is going to be used, and in the meantime, bottom tower is still going to be
Dyer's
alive.
bottom
And
tower is under attack.
the jungle is very difficult for Relax to be in right now, as there are 2 observer wards that haven't been dewarded. They're not blocking any camps as well. They're kind of baiting it, and there's just so much kill potential.
Well, when they went on the Tidehunter, actually the Ravage was pretty damn nice. It just landed on the second that the relocate came in, but of course a Rubik, he's level 6 and him alone can't really help anything out. And well, that's once again Ravage, now on cooldown. Well, it's 18 seconds left, 80 seconds rather. But that means that Hehe, for that duration of the 80 seconds, they can go just that much more aggressive.
Yeah, they certainly can, and they've been looking to do
Radiant's
this,
top
which
tower is under attack.
I'm always a fan of aggression. I think that making your opponent do what you want them to do instead of vice versa is just strategically always superior. Just that's how I feel, I guess, instead of trying to play a reactionary sort of style. And they're playing it quite flawlessly, and playing it in a very untraditional way too, is what the Drums Mask of Madness Medusa. Speaking of which, she's about to get a kill on Invoker with the help of his whole team. Pretty easy. Io actually be able to secure the kill. Spirits, maybe you're going to scout Dread. Oh, wow. Barely blinks away just in time. So Dread's going to make it out. But at what cost?
Or is he even?
Oh, wow. He actually gets caught. There's a sentry where they're under the tier 1 tower. He manages to burrow strike, but Calldown's going to be there. Going to be getting him ahead. And meanwhile, on the bottom lane, they were trying to go on the Ember Spirit, but not able to get him. And he actually is going for a Desolator.
Dyer's top tower is
Pretty
under
good
attack.
pick, especially very early in the game. It's quite good. But he goes on to Yoki. Requiem of Souls is trying to be channeled, canceled by the Searing Chains. But that's still not enough. Not even the Death Requiem can bring him out. And there was a relocate coming in from the Wisp. And it's probably just going to bring him back to top lane, or just go
Dyer's
back
top
himself.
tower is under attack.
Oh my god, relax. 17 and 5, 70 minutes in on the kill score. And actually Medusa with the Mask of Madness already, just the movement speed to catch up with Dread definitely helped a little bit there. But Dread, I think he should have stayed in the trees, not just run out from there. And he's only level 7 as well, so even if he gets the Epicenter blink out, it might not even end up with a kill. But oh, chips, there's the Burrow Strike, Sunstrike on top, crash, and should be an easy kill.
Oh no, he's got the Voodoo Restoration, he's got it max, he's got a lot of mana as well, plus he has backup from Relo. Ravage is going to be committed, but the Wisp is coming in. There's so much regen. This is getting turned around, the Epicenter's channeled, but there's no Burrow Strike. Death Ward is there, and Dread just goes down. He sacrificed himself. Who's ganking who? Shashko, he's running for his life. And
Oh
they
my
still get the
God.
tier 2 bottom. This game, I don't know, man. How do you feel if you're Relax right now?
Well, I feel like something's been robbed from me. I mean, I'm pretty sure they were expecting to at least, maybe not have an advantage, but at least be, oh god, yeah, Windex just 5 remnants away. But yeah, I think they were expecting to maybe pull out a little bit ahead, or worst case scenario, be even with Hehe, as far as the early to mid game goes. But well, I think maybe they're laning, like sending the Shadow Fiend on the safe lane. I think it's probably still better than having a Invoker in the middle of the tri lane, because Invokers need levels more. But this time around, Shadow Fiend, he couldn't do anything on the lane, hasn't been able to do anything since, and now he's going for a Shadow Wave. Wow, yeah, I mean,
Yeah. They're going to be going on the Ember Spirit. He does have a Remnant available, though. Manages to use the Slate of Fist to buy some time. He has a second Remnant as well. Bottling up, and in the meantime, Medusa manages to get a kill on the Rubik. Actually, no, there was a relocate in, but using the Mask of Madness as well. She's with the Witch Doctor, and Shocklow, he's going to be in trouble. Body blocked from the Wisp, and taking a negative earn charge. He's going to take down for sure. In the meantime, Yoki tries to intercept Ember Spirit with Gamer, and it looks like he's just going to try to deny himself to Roche. Is he going to be able to do? Dread comes in, and he secures the kill with the Burrow Strike. 567 gold for him. But Tidehunter, he's still being chased. Kraken Shell's no joke, but Reload's like, hey, I'm just farming. I'm just going to get this kill anyway with Black Cannon. Don't mind me, guys.
yeah, he was like, oh, I mean, they can get it themselves. I don't need to help.
Yeah,
But the
Wisp
Tidehunter just ran
actually
into him.
secured the kill, but there was an assist. He turned on Flat Cannon. I mean,
Oh god. They're
this
just
is a
so
combo.
damn dominant. And now that's BKB finished and reload Gyrocopter as well. And what do you actually think of Hava going for the Desolator on the Ember Spirit as the first big item?
I think that that's perfect. I think Desolator is a really good item the earlier you can get it, just because people aren't going to have the agility to really deal with that minus armor, and it helps your whole team. And putting on someone like Ember Spirit that's going to hit 2 or 3 heroes usually every Slate of Fist, ups Medusa's damage and ups Gyrocopter's damage. So, and also it's a pretty cheap item, only 4K. So I think it's very good, especially if you can get it early, like at this point in the game. And in the mid lane, we're going to see Songaze use Ravage coming in as well. It does almost nothing. Medusa's taking literally no damage. There's a call down and the Death Ward in. BKB shown up on Jar for the first time. Yoki comes in with the Shadow Blade. He tries to get a Reckoning with Souls off. Dreads comes in with the Epicenter. He's trying to do what damage he can. They only get the Wits. There's so much sustain. With Voodoo Restoration doing work as well. Windex, he's the only one alive. He tethers to a creep that he stole. That looked ridiculous, but he's ultimately going to go down here. There's going to be a Paralyzing Cask. He's pinging out where he is. He's juking in the trees, but a fogged Slate of Fists able to secure it. And that is the first team wipe at 21 minutes.
I mean, I think this game is in the bag for them. Relax. I mean, sure, they have the wombo combo in the team fights, but they just don't have the levels for those combinations to do enough damage. And of course, the farm on Hehe, and especially as now Kaibutsu on the Medusa has finished up an Eye of Skadi 21 minutes in with the Mask of Madness, drums, and Ring of Aquila, plus Power Trace on top already.
That's a 7-1 Medusa with 129 last hits. This is... Normally you see this hero have like a Linken's and a Manta maybe, if she's had uncontested farm, but this is just phenomenal play from start to finish. And Relax, I mean, the Wombo is strong, but I just think that they're too underleveled at this point to really even do the damage if they get the Wombo off. I mean, if you had something like a Darkseer, which is actually banned out in the second phase from Hehe, then the wall obviously is best because it's going to scale with your enemy's heroes, because you're going to get their damage as well, not to mention the Desolator AC if they get that. But they just don't have that. They need their own levels to be able to fight well with their ultimates, which it's going to be a long time before they get that, and I think that Hehe are always going to be ahead.
Yeah, they probably are, and well, they have the team fight items as well as just the utility items now. I mean, IoT has had the mech for quite some time. Then Chips on the Witch Doctor just finished up a pipe as well, so that will negate pretty much the entire Epicenter. I think a little bit more even, since the Epicenter is only level 1. So I mean,
and more than the entire Epicenter, so Epicenter starts healing. And then, just kidding, jokes aside, there's a Stonegaze mid lane. Well, Windex, you're dead, son. There's a meatball coming in, but Mana Shield's pretty good, especially when you have a Wisp buffing you up. And well, I mean, they can just siege the racks here. Ravage is available. There's no blink yet. Epicenter is also available. So they might be going for a team fight here, but Chocolo, he can't even just stand near and be in split shot range.
Radiant's bottom tower.
That's another thing I didn't think of. With getting the mana from Wisp, it really helps your Mana Shield. That makes sense.
It's a really well thought of lineup, to be honest. I mean, earlier on, like I said as well, didn't really think about some of the things that they could do with their setup. But I mean, Kaibutsu, with the pipe activated on him as well, and the mana shield, plus of course just the mana regeneration coming out from the IO and himself. It's too sick. I mean, Relax, they have the Ravage ready, they have the Epicenter, but they just can't initiate into it.
It's pretty difficult. Yoki, wow, you get Searing Chain once and then just right click for a bit. And this is Kaibutsu. Oh, well, there comes the Epicenter and the Ravage. They're only going to be getting a lot of people pretty low, though, and only get 2 so far, both of the supports, but all 3 of the cores are still alive. There's a buyback from Dread, and he's the only one alive, though. In the meantime, it's just a team wipe. GG is called as Hehe takes an incredibly dominant 31-9 victory in Game 1.
Yeah, that was like the best possible fight Relax could have asked for, except that they didn't have the Requiem of Souls on top because the Shadow Fiend just got crushed before already. But it still wasn't enough. Sure, they killed off the supports, but what will that actually accomplish for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So, wow. I don't know what to say, man. That was a game where things happened. I don't know.
Things did happen.
Things did happen, but crazy lineup. Even better execution from Hehe. We'll see what they're going to be able to get done in Game 2. So we're going to be just getting right into the lobby for that. Stay with us. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.